We'd like to remind everybody that this is a non-smoking and drinking facility, and that includes potty mouth. Please wait until after the game and go home. And remember, no players and coaches allowed on the track and the field at all times.
Welcome, everybody, to the Snohomish Times Sports Network. Steve Willits, along with beautiful Renton Memorial Stadium, where tonight we are broadcasting the 2014 season opener between the Everett Red Raiders. They're the road team, and they're taking on the home team, the Eastside Bulldogs. Todd, we just had our national anthem a few moments ago. Kickoff is just about ready. Everett winning the toss, they will receive. The Everett Red Raiders, the three-time defending NWJCFL champions. That is the Northwest Junior College Football League champions. Eastside, only a second-year program. A team that started play last year. These two teams matched up twice during the fall of 2013. Everett winning both matches. 52-12 up at Everett, and then a 32-8 game in Renton. And, quite frankly, you can't really go on what you see there on the standings because, well, it was a first-year program, and inaugural programs don't tend to do very well. Let's see how well they've advanced themselves in year number 2. And we are underway, and immediately being brought down at the 13-yard line is our kick returner there.
Got a helmet on the field there.
Helmet is off. That was number 2 on the return, Stephen Allen Jr.
He had a little slip in the end zone there when he was getting ready to get going.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm so used to, we've done a lot of high school games in the past where that whistle automatically blows. The college game, of course, you play that, and that's exactly what Allen did. Brought that one out. By the way, Stephen Allen Jr., a sophomore from Knoxville, Tennessee. So this is just like any other college. You get players from all over the place. Immediately on the first play of the game, Robert Galloway, the quarterback, going up top, was looking for Leon Elliott, the wide receiver, overthrew him, and that will bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 12-yard line.
Yeah, their quarterback, he's a 3-time Metro All-Team player.
From Rainier Beach High School. Not too shabby. Thrown to a Glacier Peak wide receiver there. So, and Callaway shows his skills off there. Bad bounce, picks it up, and is finally brought down. Ball skips out of the side of the end zone, and that will be a safety. And as I mentioned just a few moments ago, you can't really go on the results of 2013. This is a brand new season, and the Eastside Bulldogs are looking like a brand new team. 15 seconds into this game, they're up 2-zip.
You know, pregame there, they did show a little bit more spark. You know, they were out there jumping around, they were yelling, they were had a lot of spirit. Didn't see a whole lot of that out of the Red Raiders. I was hoping to see a little bit more spark. Maybe the drive was a little bit far.
Might have been a little bit far, and it might just be the fact that they haven't played in a while. They're a little bit rusty, and, hey, if they needed a wake-up call, I think they just got one there, as they are not only down 2-0 now, but being that was a safety, they will have to kick off. And we're going to see the Eastside Bulldogs on offense for the first time this year.
Yeah, you mentioned that player from Tennessee. We got an email earlier, and that was a big deal for they wanted to be able to make sure they watched it, so they were trying to make sure they could see where that was. I said, STSPN.com. Go there, and they were all excited. The
power of the Internet, folks. It never ceases to amaze us how many people we get watching our games, not only from around the country, but sometimes around the world. I know we've had folks throughout our high school broadcasting that have watched us in Australia and Amsterdam and Japan. It really is amazing. And for a guy like Stephen Allen to come out here to the West Coast and play football 2,500 miles away from home, to let everybody back there know that they can watch this game, it makes this worthwhile, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And here comes the kickoff here, fielded on the 34-yard line, sweeping out to the side and finally being brought down. That is number 8, Lincoln Gordon. He's tackled on the play by, let's get this name right here. Oh, actually, I got that wrong there. That was number 8 for the other team, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this name tonight. I was warned about it earlier, and it's no joke. Andre, and his last name is Zadny Pruvsky. ZADNEPROVSKIY. Might I buy a vowel? That is a name.
Yeah, say that 3 times fast.
We'll be calling him Andre Z a lot tonight if he's catching a lot of passes. First play of the game offensively for the Bulldogs. Run off of right tackle.
See a little laundry on the field there.
We do have the penalty down there as it is on the defense. That was number 12 running the ball for Eastside, which is perfect because he's not on my roster, so we'll have a little fun with that one as well. I was joking with you earlier, Todd. It's always fun as a broadcaster when you're watching a game and the team wearing the dark-colored uniforms decides to go with the dark numbers as well. I know a lot of the kids think it's kind of hip and cool. For a broadcaster, it's just it's a challenge.
Absolutely a nightmare. I can go with that 100%.
And so from up here in the booth, it's always kind of a fun task to try to figure out who's who, and we'll get those numbers correct as we go along and we start to get a better feel for who these players are. Oh, there's a little bit of a mishap as the players all took off and advanced for the play, and the only person who, only 2 people rather, who weren't ready were the center and the quarterback, and two positions that are kind of vital to a football play. So that's a false start. That'll move them back 5 yards.
So, Steve, I wanted to thank you for coming out. We're borrowing Steve tonight from Sound Live Sports Network, and Teresa and I have kind of teamed up this year, the Sound Live Sports Network and STSPN, and we're going to be broadcasting a lot of games, so I really appreciate your help.
No, this is a lot of fun for me. As I've mentioned, I'm normally accustomed to doing the high school games, so to do a college game is a treat for me, and there is a play right off of left tackle. And one of these days, that running back's going to turn towards us a little bit better so I can get he's number 13. So that is Robert Reeves. Okay, we finally got him right. And for the rest of the game, we will refer to him by his name, Robert Reeves, and not a false number. And Reeves gaining about 3 yards on that play. 2nd and 12 from the 39-yard line with 13:30 to go here in the first quarter.
Boy, they caught them all off guard there.
Yeah, that was a quarterback keeper from the get-go. He just went with the naked bootleg out to the right, and that is number 10, Chris Clark, the quarterback from Eastside. Clark from Mount Si High School, 6'4", 215.
Stephen Allen just caught up to him. I think that was just plain speed there because they had everybody fooled.
Yeah, going with that naked bootleg where you fake everybody to the left and the quarterback keeps it to the right, and more often than not, that sets up a nice one-on-one opportunity for a quarterback, and Allen making the saving tackle. Handoff going off left side again, this time for a gain of about 3 yards. That was number 25 on the carry this time, Kendall McNeil. McNeil, a running back from Stadium High School. He's listed at 5'10", 215 pounds. And being that we've got a lot of new viewers tonight and also a lot of these players playing college ball for the first time, we'll do our best to try to get you these players' background a little bit in terms of where they're from and what schools they might have played for at the high school level. Eastside punting for the first time this game. Ball is dropped there at the 10-yard line.
Ooh.
That's always a confusing play. When you call the fair catch and drop the ball, you get some players who think it's live, some that don't, and I think the referees recognize that and just blew it dead as the ball was recovered by number 9, Joseph Hopkins. So crisis averted there for your Everett Red Raiders as they were looking to possibly go down by as many as 9 early on. We're finally able to shut down that Eastside drive and force a punt, but for the second time tonight in as many drives, Everett starting deep in their own possession, in their own field. 12:02 to go, running off of right tackle. That is number 21 for Everett, Paul Labriche. And I take that back, too. This is another thing we've got to learn. There are, matter of fact, that might be the only one. We've got 2 number 21s on Everett. LaBriche plays defense. That was Remizov who ran the ball in that last play. And we are right back to action here as play goes out to the right side one more time. It's an incomplete pass. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 from the 15-yard line. If you're just tuning in, the Everett Red Raiders wearing the road whites, trailing Eastside 2-0 here, early first quarter.
We got false start there?
Appears as though we might have a false start. There are flags all over the field, and you are correct. Todd Elvidge going to move that one back 5 yards. That will put the ball on the 10-yard line, where Everett will have it 3rd and 11. Everett wanting to push the pace here. They're already at the line of scrimmage ready to go. Callaway drops back. He's looking around. Can't find anything. Is finally flushed out to the left. Scrambles and is not going to get very far as he is brought down almost immediately at the 11-yard line. And we get a late flag, which could be a very bad thing if it's called on Eastside, as they just held Everett to what should potentially be a punting situation.
Yep, there we go.
However, they're going to get called for a personal foul, which should be an automatic first down, and is.
Well, you know, the coach for the Everett Red Raiders, that's Tim Dennis. He grew up with Rory Rosenbaugh, so he understands that whole offense deal. He's going to hurry this thing up a little bit.
Yeah, Rory Rosenbach, of course, the head coach at Glacier Peak High School, and somebody who loves to run an up-tempo offense. And just as you mentioned that, as soon as they put that ball down, these Red Raiders are back at the line of scrimmage ready to go. Quick handoff, and there he goes right up the middle and finally cutting out to the right. That is number 21, Umid Remizov. Remizov picking up a gain of about, we'll call it around 16, 17 yards to the 39-yard line, and that will move the chains one more time. Another first down, and Callaway already back at the line of scrimmage. He's ready to go here with trips to the right. 10:51 to go here in the first quarter. Looking to the sideline for Dennis. Finally gets back under. Here he comes. He's running around to the left. He's got an open space there, too. He's got one man to beat and is brought down by number 3. That's Taylor Smith, who makes the tackle at the 41-yard line. A gain of 20 and another first down.
I think they got a little trickery there. They put trips over there, and they said, yeah, all the eyes were on that.
Gave Callaway an open field there, and really, I mentioned one man to go. He did have another one further down the field, but really, if number 3 doesn't step up and make that tackle, he's probably got at least another 10 or 15 yards, if not pay dirt. A nice drive here right now by the Everett Red Raiders, again aided by a personal foul on what should have been a 4th down and long. Raiders are making the most of it, though. Here they come. Callaway throws the pass down the field, incomplete. Intended target on the play was Mitchell Galloway. Galloway, a 5'10" freshman from Orange Park, Florida.
Orange Park, Florida. I think I got better weather than we do tonight.
It doesn't take much. You're right, though. There is a false start on the play. Push that one back. Boy, not a bad view here. This is my first time at Renton Memorial Stadium. We are just a few just stone's throw away, really, from Renton Municipal Airport. So we've got airplanes directly in front of us, right on the other side of the bleachers there to the north side. And then about, 300 yards beyond that are the shores of Lake Washington. Nice play there. A little bubble screen out to number 20. He breaks one tackle and is finally brought down after a gain of 6. That is Badir Ois on the play.
Well, on the next break there, maybe we'll get Josh to pan up to the airplanes. On the next break.
On the next, sure,
Let
why
the
not?
play go.
Callaway getting a nice lucky bounce there off of the turf, and he finally stumbles backwards.
Wow, slippery turf.
Slippery turf indeed. He goes down after a loss of about 13 yards. Was just fortunate to keep that ball, though, as he fumbled it initially on the snap, and the ball bounced right back up into his hands, but by then he had a few guys coming down on him, and unfortunately his feet came out from underneath him, and as you mentioned, a result of a slippery surface.
Oh, there's a penalty.
Too many men on the field. So really, if you're Eastside, you've got to be, if you're the coach of the Eastside team right now, you've got to be a little frustrated. Two mental errors that have kept this drive going right now. The one was the personal foul, a late hit way deep down in Everett's own territory, which would have forced them to punt. And now you're giving up, another 15 yards on that play for having too many men on the field. So really, they're their own worst enemy right now. Callaway's going to keep this one. He cuts back into the middle, and he could go all the way. 36-yard touchdown. Robert Callaway with his first touchdown of the season, the first points for the Red Raiders this year, and they now lead 6-2.
Yeah, how frustrating can that be? I mean, two key plays, and having something go sideways like that is just got to be really frustrating. I think it's just because the boys are all fired up. They want to be in the game. They want to be doing what they need to do, and as soon as they saw that, they were all over that quarterback, but it was late.
Well, and that changes the complexion of that play as well, as you would have had a 2nd and 20. Instead, it was a 2nd and 5. Rather than trying to throw for all of it downfield, Callaway just kept it himself and got a 36-yard touchdown. Point after touchdown is good. That was number 8, Josh Higgins, on the kick. And we have a 7-2 ball game here with 8:58 to go in the first quarter. You are watching the Snohomish Times Sports Network. And here we go with the kickoff following the touchdown. Ball is brought back up the middle and finally being brought down around the 33-yard line. So Eastside taking over on possessions for the second time in the game. We're able to get 2 first downs on the first drive before being forced to punt. Let's see what they can do here the second time around. Handoff up the middle. Not much room there as a handful of Red Raiders were in on the tackle. Bo Riz on the carry. Going to give him 3 yards. Bulldogs with 3 running backs in the backfield. 2 receivers split out to the left. Very similar to the last play. They're this time trying to run off of the left guard. Not much room there either as Reeves getting stopped maybe after a gain of 2 yards. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. This time changing up the offensive set. Only 1 back in the backfield. 2 receivers out to the left, 2 to the right. Quick slant, wide open, and making the catch. And finally being brought down at the 38-yard line after a gain of 23. That is number 8. We'll call him Andre Z. Z on the catch one more time. Zadny Pravoski. Andre Z.
Say that a couple of times fast, right?
We're trying. So Andre making sure that his team had a first down there for the second time tonight. They're into Red Raider territory. And this time getting swarmed down on the play. That's number 25 on the carry one more time. Kendall McNeil. Hector Ruiz, number 75, one of the players in there on the stop. Second down and 9. Going back to that 4-receiver set one more time. Looking down over the field, incomplete.
That was over his head there, and the Raiders had somebody just right over there. I mean, it was about 4 feet away from him. That was a dangerous deal.
Yeah, Chris Clark looking for his intended receiver, Tolan McGregor on that play. McGregor from North Kitsap High School. Third down and 9. They're going back to this 4-receiver set again. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Clark looking downfield, throwing deep. Oh, and he has his man, and he just can't hold on to it. That would have been a first down.
And probably a little bit more.
And once again, having a heck of a time seeing those numbers. Number 18 on the play as they finally get closer to us. Tyler Button. Button with his first pass thrown in his direction tonight. Not able to hold on to it. These two guys should know each other fairly well. That was a Mount Si High School quarterback thrown to a Mount Si High School wide receiver. I'm guessing they might have made a connection or two in the past. Unfortunately for them, they don't on that play, and consequently that brings up a 4th and 9. And for the second time in as many possessions, we're going to see the Bulldogs come on to punt again.
Yeah, you know, covering so much high school sports, I got to tell you that you see some of these names and you've heard them, you've called them, you've seen them before.
Ball takes a bad bounce there. That was number 16 on the punt. That's Andrew Pinter. Pinter with only an 18-yard kick as he was on the 38-yard line when he kicked it. It ends up on the 20, where the Red Raiders will take over for their third possession tonight. 6:28 to go in the first quarter. The Red Raiders already with a 7-2 lead and looking for more. So number 7, Robert Calloway, back in at quarterback. He trips formation out to the right-hand side. One receiver here closer to the left. He's looking to the left. He's got an isolation and can't quite make the connection. He was looking for number 4, Bernard Brown. Brown being covered by number 21, Taryn Talley. Talley with a much better shot at that ball than Brown.
Yeah, I think he's got to get that ball a little bit farther outside. That was a dangerous position he put that ball.
I like the call, though. I mean, you isolated him one-on-one. If you, like you said, if you can throw more underneath that ball and get that ball there, you have a much better shot. And this time we're going back to the running game, as that's Ramazov back up the middle, maybe for 3 yards. We'll call it a, they're putting 4 on the board. We'll go with that. So they're going to spot it at the 24. 3rd and 6. And we're going back with a single back in the backfield again. This time Callaway looking to throw, gets hit as he throws. And a penalty flag down in the defensive backfield as Brown and Talley might have been tangled up. We'll see what the call is here. If it's not on the defense, there's going to be a punt situation coming up for the Red Raiders. But I have a feeling we might be getting that called against the Blue.
I don't see anybody leaving the field.
And I see a lot of clapping on the Red Raiders side there as well. So I have a feeling we're looking at a defensive penalty, and in fact we are. Boy, and
well, that's a first down.
can't say this enough. I mean, I sound like a broken record already, but Eastside just shooting themselves in the foot here early on. It should be a 4th and 6 situation, and instead we're looking at a first down for the Red Raiders.
And, you know, they seem like they're handling themselves just fine. It's just these little mental mistakes.
Callaway dropping back to pass. A nice little screen. Breaking through one tackle and finally being brought down at the 49-yard line after a gain of 15. That is Ramazov once again catching that screen pass and getting upfield for another first down.
Boy, if anybody wants to go back and look at film and see what the classic definition of a screen was, that was perfect.
Suck the defensive line in, let them come towards your quarterback, and then just float
Right
the ball over the
yeah.
top of them and let your running back run free. And that's exactly what they did. Ramazov taking a handoff this time, only going to get about a yard. Try to sweep it out to the right, and just not a lot of room there.
We should try and find out how old the stadium is. I'm wondering, it looks pretty brand new. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with how slippery it is out there on the...
It's a good question. Callaway dropping back to throw. This time he connects with Brown. Brown cuts it back into the field, puts on a few moves, and is finally being brought down from behind by big number 66. It's a nice hustle play there by Justin Hill, the defensive lineman, but Brown making a nice play, getting, I was going to say something out of nothing. He already had a little bit, but he certainly did his best to get more out of that play. A gain of 11 yards and a first down.
You know, Josh used to talk about having a receiver change direction and right into him, and boy, that was just exactly what he was talking about. That's classic tackle there.
Red Raiders continuing to move the chains. Bubble screen out to the right, not happening. That was number 3 on the defensive play. Taylor Smith sniffed that one out, and as soon as number 19, Ryan Lacoste, caught that ball, he was immediately brought down. And Lacoste runs off the field, holding his arm a little bit as though he might be in some pain there. He finally drops down to a knee as he gets over to the sideline. We'll certainly keep our eye open on Mr. Lacoste and see how he's doing. Lacoste, a receiver out of Marysville-Getchell High School. Loss of 4 on that play. Callaway once again in shotgun formation. 3:58 to go here in the first quarter. And he's looking to go deep. Brown gets pushed off by Talley.
That was an easy call there.
You saw that, and I think so did everybody else in the stadium as the referee. Easy call for him as Talley just had his hands all over Brown as soon as that ball went up in the air. And, you know, quite frankly, it might have saved a touchdown because I think Brown was about ready to go right by him. So perhaps not a bad foul for Talley, but at any rate, 2nd and 14, you give them another first down.
Yeah, that moves the chains, puts them closer and closer.
Of course, college football automatic 15-yard penalty on a pass interference, so that will put them at the 27-yard line. So for Everett, after getting off to a slow start there with the early safety against them, they are putting together their second strong drive of the night here. And we still have 3:52 to play in the first quarter. Callaway dropping back into shotgun formation. He's got 3 receivers out to the right. Little pitch to Ramazov, and he gets stopped right away and is tackled in the backfield. He's going to lose about 7 yards on that play.
I don't think that was a design play there.
Yeah, it looked a little bit like a broken play, didn't it? I don't know if it was intended for Ramazov at all, or if he seemed like he was a little bit shocked by it, and then when he did finally get his hands on it, he started to go back to the right, and that's not usually a recipe for good things, and certainly on this play they lost 7, and we'll see what they can do here on 2nd and 17. Callaway throws it into the flat for Ramazov. He's got some room, gets by one guy, and is finally brought down at the 14-yard line. We'll put it on the 15 now, a gain of 19 yards, and once again, the Red Raiders converting a 2nd and or 3rd and long, as they've done so far here throughout the first quarter.
Yeah, I think that last play there, Callaway was trying to make something out of nothing, and sometimes that can be a little bit dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Or perhaps he just figured he'd make this a little more challenging, knowing that he's getting 15, 20 yards a pop. Why not lose 7 and let's have some fun, right? That's what they've been doing so far. Callaway hands it off to Ramazoff, and he is tackled almost immediately. Nice play by the defense there as a couple players able to get their hands on him, one of which was number 9. That's Bud Kilson. Kilson is a linebacker. He's a mystery linebacker. His height, weight, and hometown are not listed on the roster here, so we will give him his props and shout out his name, though. Callaway not having much room to do anything, finally scrambles out of bounds, and we get another penalty flag.
I didn't see what that was.
I didn't either. I did see Brown, number 4, on the ground at some point. I don't know if it was a result of him pushing off or something else, but at any rate, they're going to call a holding against the Red Raiders. So like I just mentioned to you a minute ago, Todd, these guys, it's almost as though they're seemingly going backwards just to see if they can go forward again. They're take a 5-yard loss here, a 7-yard sack, a 10-yard penalty, and they still end up getting first down. So we'll see what the Bulldogs can do here on defense now. 2:22 to go in the first quarter. 2nd and 20 from the 25-yard line. Callaway once again in shotgun formation. He's looking to the right. Ball is tipped, and it was almost intercepted. Was intended for number 10. That's Darius Patty on the play. First time we've seen Patty targeted tonight. And one of the defenders able to get some fingers on that ball and tip it past Patty, where the safety almost had a shot at it. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 20, and once again, Callaway not wasting any time. He's right back at the line of scrimmage, ready to go here. 2:10 to go in the first quarter. Callaway back to pass. He's throwing to his left, completes it to Brown, who is brought down at the 7-yard line. This is going to bring up an interesting situation here for the Red Raiders. A gain of 18 on what was a 3rd and 20. 4th and 3 coming up here for the Raiders. And they are keeping the offense on the field right now. Ball was snapped. What's going on? And that ball is recovered by the Bulldogs. Callaway saw something he didn't like. He was yelling at his offensive lineman. Ran up to the line of scrimmage, and as he was yelling, the center hiked the ball inexplicably back to him. Ball bounced off his hand, and the Bulldogs recovered it.
Another mental mistake. That's exactly what they don't want to see. You don't want to see that when you're that close to the end zone. Are you kidding me?
Well, especially on a drive that started back here on your own 11-yard line. That was an 81-yard drive up until that point. And when I say 81 yards, they really went more like 101 yards after all the penalties that were tacked onto some of their plays at the end there. And really a sustained drive that the Red Raiders were able to show that they can move this ball, I would almost say at will, but from time to time they were getting stopped, but then they'd come up with a 25, 30-yard play, and that ball is fumbled into the end zone. Pitch was not handled by the running back. He is able to fall on it, and for the second time tonight, we have a safety. Red Raiders putting more points on the board. It is now 9-2.
And they get the ball back.
Boy, that is not the way you wanted to handle what should have been a momentum-changing situation. If you're Eastside, you finally get a big stop down on the 8-yard line. You get the ball back, and immediately you turn around and you pitch the ball behind your running back into the end zone. Play that results in a safety. And with 1:39 to go here in the first, the Bulldog defense is going to have to go back onto the field again.
You know, they've got to be getting a little bit tired, too, because as fast as he gets that offense lined up and ready to go, you got to be getting a little bit tired. Those big boys up front have to be getting a little bit tired. They got 3 quarters left to go. Yeah,
we don't keep the time of possession stat up here, but really we're 13 and a half minutes into this game, and I've got to think, they've been on the field 11 of those 13 and a half minutes already?
I'd have to agree with that.
And, it's only going to get worse here. Maybe the one saving grace, if you will, for them is that it is a cooler night. If this game had been played maybe 3 or 4 days ago, they'd be playing in 80-degree heat right now. But still, when you're playing your first game of the year, conditioning can become an issue fairly quickly. And if your defense can't get off the field, makes for a very long second half sometimes. Ball might have been shanked a little bit. It's going to land on the 39-yard line. Finally picked up and brought down after a 5-yard pickup is number 20, Chris Jones. Jones from Virginia Beach, Virginia. First time we've called his name tonight.
You know, I got to tell you, when I see those kids that get their legs taken out from underneath them, all I can think is I would be in the hospital for a week.
They're younger than we are.
That is right.
I'd like to think that that's the only reason, but they're probably a little tougher than us too. But yeah, it always looks like it hurts a lot more than it must, because they always bounce right back up, right? Callaway ready to go again. Hands this one off to number 28. He breaks through one tackler and then is finally brought down at the 49-yard line. A gain of 4, and that's Nico Liria.
That was a nice play. I mean, it even had me fooled there for a second.
Liria, a sophomore from Woodinville High School. The gain of 4. That was a nice play, and then he did a nice job to cut it back to the right when he didn't have anything to his left. Callaway looking downfield. Should have been caught. Throws that one to number 19. That was Ryan Lacoste, who we just mentioned a few moments ago, had gone out of the game with an injury, so it's good to see him back in the game.
I think that's his second drop.
You might be right on that one. Yeah, he should have dropped the last one. He lost 4 yards on it, but unfortunately for him, he did make the catch on that play and
who do we got down
got
there?
hurt in the process. And yeah, we do have an injury down right now. One of the linemen cannot see his number from here, but we have seen movement, which is always a good thing, and that's the first thing you always look for when a player goes down to the turf.
That's a big fella there too. So, you know, I mean, you take that much, if he's hurt and you take that much beef off the field, that's gonna hurt. You know, we did some preseason interviews with these guys, and so you can go in and look at the Collins brothers and Callaway and Tim Dennis.
Hey. Hey, we got a nice round of applause here. How do you like that, Todd? You gotta I'm warming up to this place. This is nice. PA announcer just called us out by name and asked everybody to give us a round of applause, and we got one.
Well, you know, I should have had the mic on the crowd for that. Huh? Use that for a replay.
More importantly, though, a player still down on the field there. Is there, I want to say looking at the lower part of his leg. Does that look right? I got to tell you, Todd, I always I love my summers. I love having the nice weather here in Seattle for the 2 or 3 months that we have it. But whenever I see this rain coming this time of year, the one thing that it does mean is that football is here once again, and it's good to be back in one of these booths, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you guys over there at Sound Live Sports Network, you guys are, handling like 4 games a night? Is it two games a night over there at Edmund Stadium?
We are handling 2 games per night, Friday nights at Edmund Stadium. Of course, 4 high schools playing out of that stadium. Mentioned that number 78 is up and being helped off the field. That's Aaron Erickson. So give Erickson a little bit of a shout out here.
Well, we hope he's going to be all right.
6'4", 350-pound sophomore out of Ferndale.
Wow.
Yeah, not able to put any weight on that right leg right now, so we'll keep an eye on that. We certainly hope all the best for Erickson, but he is, in fact, off the field now, and we're ready to play again. But, yeah, Edmonds Woodway, Meadowdale, Mount Lake Terrace, and Linwood, we've got them all covered each and every Friday night on the Sound Live Sports Network. And then you guys, how many teams are you covering this year?
Well, we're covering both Everett Memorial Stadium and Veterans Memorial, so we're covering about 6 teams, something like that. And plus we're covering Archbishop Murphy.
Oh, wow. Okay, you're really getting around this year then. And which is great. I mean, we want to see these kids get a chance to play on the internet. As we mentioned earlier, family members all throughout the country being able to watch them. And Callaway going deep on that play and is broken up at the last second. Number 47, that's Josiah Miller from Oak Harbor High School, another athlete who we've had a chance to watch in the past up in the north end.
Is he a sophomore or junior?
I believe he's a sophomore this year. He's
a sophomore or freshman.
Should be a sophomore. I've And I'll tell you what, I don't know exactly, but I watched Josiah play 3 or 4 years ago, so I know he's been
well, that's what I was going to say. I think
while.
I heard his name called against Glacier Peak a couple of times, and he put some yards on him.
He put a lot of yards on quite a few players back in the his Wesco days at high school. So that one was just a little underthrown. Miller had him beat. Unfortunately, the throw just a little bit short. That brings up a 2nd and 10. Another handoff, this one coming around the left-hand side and finding a little bit of space, perhaps enough for a first down. It's going to be close. That was Lyria one more time. Let's see where they spot him here.
That's pretty close. I don't know about that spot.
Yeah, they might have brought him back about a yard, so we're going to have about a 3rd and 1. And, hey, I wanted to mention one other thing while we're talking about the Sound Life Sports Network and also the Snohomish Times Sports Network is I get ready to mention something and Callaway immediately comes to the line. And these guys do not mess around. So we'll hold that thought. Callaway looking to throw deep. Finds his man wide open and into the end zone. 32-yard touchdown, Red Raiders.
And who is that? That's Leon Elliott.
That is Leon Elliott. Why not put on some more points before this first quarter comes to an end? Leon Elliott from
Snohomish. Oh, no, actually, they're in Marysville. They live in Marysville, but he attended Glacier Peak.
That's where I was going, yeah.
Yeah. And I know for a fact his dad's watching tonight. He called me earlier today and said, hey, I want to watch that game.
And I think he's happy then right now, right? He's made a wise decision. So, Mr. Elliott, touchdown, Leon. Congratulations. And we are now lining up for an extra point, which could put the Red Raiders up by 14 with 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. The kick is up, and the kick is good. That's Josh Higgins booting another one through the uprights. So touchdown by the Glacier Peak alum makes the score 16-2. And what I wanted to mention before Callaway ran up to the line to hit Mr. Elliott for that touchdown was that we're proud to announce that Shoreline Community College will be the presenting sponsor for both of our broadcasts this year. So we really appreciate them for stepping up and doing that. And I'll read the little script part of this here. Shoreline Community College is known for its digital filmmaking program, which provides a hands-on approach to learning video production combined with a solid introduction to the theory and history of cinema. And having worked with Mount Lake Terrace High School fairly closely the last couple years and getting to know some of those students and students throughout the Edmonds School District, I can attest that I know that they've done an excellent job taking some of our smartest and finest young students and helping them to enhance and to better themselves and their careers. And Shoreline Community College really...
maybe we can get some of them to come intern for us.
It might not be a bad idea. They're doing an excellent job there, and not only are they helping to mold the youth of tomorrow, but they're also providing us with some sponsorships. So we certainly want to give them an extra shout out and let them know that we appreciate everything that they do.
I thought you were going to say something about broadcasting those boys out there. All those high school games that we cover. That is not for us. That is for the kids. And anybody that thinks that we're in this for the money, they need to recheck that.
There's money involved here? And I think we've got the last play of the first quarter here. A sweep out to the left-hand side. And cannot see who that is running out there. And again, next time I'll bring my binoculars, just anticipating that maybe dark uniforms on dark numbers. But at any rate, a tackle is made. And we've got another player down? They haven't actually signaled that it is the end of the first quarter yet. And I don't know if that's a player or maybe a coach that might have taken a spill on that play, Todd.
I'm trying to see out there. It looks like they've got a coach on the field.
One of the coaches was down, face down at first. He's since rolled over onto his back, but
I don't think you're supposed to be hitting your own coaches.
No, and I don't know what happened there. I know that, again, the play was swept out to the left-hand side, which is right in front of the Red Raider bench. I didn't see any contact with the bench, but flying bodies, that's what football is, and unfortunately sometimes you're not sure where those bodies are going to land, and one of them might have hit one of the coaches, and consequently I think we have an injury over on the bench right now.
Well, it looks like they're moving the ball to the other side of the field, so obviously they're going to switch quarters.
Yeah, and I did notice that the coach has, in fact, sat up now, which is a good sign. So, again, an injury here as we wait to start the second quarter. Let's take a quick break right now. We'll keep the cameras rolling, but we're going to take a break on our end. Your score through the first quarter of play, the Everett Red Raiders 16, the Eastside Bulldogs 2. You are watching the Snohomish Times Sports Network. And here we go, second quarter of action. The very first play, Clark finds a man wide open along the right sideline. A gain of 24 yards on the play.
Yeah, I think they caught him sleeping there.
And I'm looking across the field there. And I think that might have been Body's number job of looking off the defense. Fires it over to where number 1, that is Pape Mipe, makes the catch. Is brought down at the 44-yard line, a gain of 27 yards on the play. Clark was looking to go right back to Mipe again. He was open over the middle, just couldn't quite hold on to it. Ball might have been thrown just a wee bit high. And unfortunately, if you're a Bulldogs fan, it's a play they should have probably had, and Mipe had some space in front of him too. If he could have made that catch and stayed on his feet, could have still been running, but unfortunately for the Bulldogs, they're looking at a 2nd and 10 from the Red Raider 44-yard line with 9:07 to go in the second quarter. Bulldogs with trips out to the right. They're going to throw a bubble screen. Catch is made, but immediately brought down by 2 or 3 defenders.
Well, I want to apologize a little bit there for technical difficulty, if anybody was noticing that. Sometimes when we get to these away stadiums, we don't always have the same consistency as we do in our home stadiums. So we would apologize for that. If there was no score during that little technical problem, we will be posting the recorded version as soon as we're done here. So
a couple nice plays on there, too, so we certainly encourage people to watch. Ball is intercepted. My. That is number 18 coming up with it. Darren Borab. And as you just mentioned, if you weren't watching it live, that's very similar to a play that was run just about 3 plays ago in which Clark found Mipe, number 1, down the sideline. A few moments ago, they completed a 27-yard catch. This time they threw it a little bit more into the middle of the field, and unfortunately, if you are a Bulldogs fan, Clark let that one hang up a little bit too much, and interception by the Red Raiders, and that is a turnover, and Everett will come to the 18-yard line with 8:25, still up 16-2. Callaway looking to run this time. He takes off to the left. Thought about cutting it back into the middle. Finds a little bit of space. Spins off of one tackler and is finally brought down at the 35-yard line. A gain of 17 yards by the quarterback, Robert Callaway.
Wow, that kid can scramble.
He's a great scrambler. I'm a little bit surprised they haven't been running him more often. Every time he runs, he seems to get quite a few yards. And that was a few of his scrambles we saw earlier were on. That one was designed from the get-go, and that is a first down. Actually ended up spotting it on the 36-yard line, so we'll call it a gain of 18. Callaway looking to throw this time. Finds his receiver out in the flat and just not able to keep his footage is Bernard Brown. Brown slipping down after making the catch on the 42-yard line, a gain of 6, which will bring up a 2nd and 4.
I'm thinking that maybe they're going to have to put the larger cleats on when they go in at the halftime there.
Yeah, that's right.
The spikes.
The spikes might be coming out. A handoff, and this time not much happening at all. That's number 24, Tyler Watson, getting the carry. Watson getting gang tackled on that play. And he is a 6', 195-pound freshman out of Mariner.
Mariner High School.
Mariner High School. Good old Wesco 4A football right there for you. 7:05 to go here in the half. 16-2, the Red Raiders leading the Bulldogs. Coming up, Callaway takes the snap, fades back, screen pass thrown, and he hits his lineman in the back. And I believe that's what the penalty is going to be, as nobody else touched that ball. Hector Ruiz, number 75, had the ball hit him in the back. Not Ruiz's fault, obviously. He did not even see the ball coming. But it is an illegal touch, as a defensive player has to touch a forward pass before a lineman can have it touch him at all. And now they're just going to wave the foul off anyway, so we're going to bring up a 4th and 3. So this Red Raider offense that in the first quarter looked unstoppable is suddenly finding the going a little bit tougher now, as the Bulldogs seem to have figured something out on defense. In the last 3 possessions, it just hasn't been that easy for Callaway and his offense.
Yeah, I think that they've made a few adjustments here, but decided to make a few before the half.
We'll see if it's too late. Now they just need to get their offense going a little bit more. This game is far from over. Clark has shown that he can move this team down the field a little bit. It's just been a matter of converting once they get on the other side of the 50-yard line. The Bulldogs have already territory a number of times tonight and just have nothing to show for it on the offensive side, with the safety being their only points of this game. Ball was initially dropped, however, the punt returner was able to finally fall on it. It is a punt of 33 yards. That was Andre Z, our buddy there, number 8, making the catch. With 6:44 to go here in the second quarter, Bulldogs are trailing by 2 touchdowns. They need to get something going, and I'll tell you what, going into the half 16-9, if you're a Bulldog fan, sounds a lot better than 16-2.
I would agree with that, and plus it puts them within just 1 touchdown of putting them right back in the lead. Well, no, tie it up. Would that be right? 7-9 and 7.
That's pretty good math. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Public school math.
Well, you got those 2-point conversions that come in and kind of mess everything up. So it depends on how you look at it.
Well, I was educated on the fuzzy math, and that, I just don't know 2 plus 7 plus another 7. Yeah.
Well, as football fans, we're used to thinking in things. Turn the ball over on the very first offensive play of the third, and then a 29-yard pass, and the Raiders kick the extra point through. They now lead by 27 points. The Bulldogs, who scored the very first 2 points of this game, have now seen the Red Raiders score 29 unanswered. And the 3-time defending NWJCFL champion Red Raiders are getting off to a very strong start here in 2014. We mentioned earlier, these two teams played each other twice last year. The Red Raiders winning both times fairly handily. First matchup was a 52-12 score. Second game was 32-8. We were curious to see if Eastside could possibly turn that around a little bit, being that this is their second season. Figured that they might have had some struggles last year, being that it was their inaugural season. A team that actually didn't do too poorly for just coming into the league. They did go 3-3 last year. We get a re-kick on that one. This one is also up and good, so it's still 29-2. But this is definitely not the start to the season that the Eastside Bulldogs were hoping for.
I don't think it was the start to the season I was hoping for, because that was our second technical issue there. But we're working the bugs out. One of our first games this year. And if you missed that huge play, I think that they can go back and watch it.
Well, that's the beauty of this, right? I mean, even if we get it knocked off the air, later on when you put it on the channel there, it's the entire game will be
It is the entire
together.
game.
Okay. So unlike the Bulldogs, you get a little bit of a reprieve, right? You're able to come back and redeem yourself and come through victorious in the end. And hey, this game's not over yet. We've seen stranger things happen in football games, and mentioned earlier also that the Bulldogs have shown that they can move the ball up and down the field a little bit. Normally it's hard to say that for a team that's only scored 2 points through 30 minutes of play, but the Bulldogs have not exactly been getting shut down on offense 3 and out each time. They have put up some yardage before they've either turned the ball over or been stopped on the Red Raider side of the field. And very similar to the last kickoff is number 8. Hey, why not? For the first half, we'll try to say his name one more time. Andre Zedneprovsky takes that kickoff to the 28-yard line. Deja vu, as that's exactly the same starting point that the Bulldogs had just a few moments ago when they fumbled on the first play of the third quarter. We'll see what they can do this time. I'm sure they're hoping for better results here. Big number 75 running off the field right now. It's Thomas Drorba. Got to give those linemen a shout out every once in a while, right? Even if there's not much going on in the action there. They never get their numbers called.
It's all work, no play for them.
It is indeed. 4 receivers set, 2 to each side. And a fly sweep as the ball is being run over to the right-hand side. I believe that was number 18, Tyler Button, on the carry.
I think somebody here knows him because I can hear her screaming.
There's a lot of noise going on down there right now, isn't there?
Girlfriend there must be in the stands there because she was screaming like everything.
Well, I thought the largest fan club tonight looks like it belongs to Timmy Cordova. I don't know if you've noticed, but there are a lot of red number 43 T-shirts down here in the stands. Cordova is either a very popular guy in general or he's got a large family. Maybe a combination of both. But filling up the stands here tonight with his fan club, and I think you're right, Mr. Button has a few folks out there as well. Sweep out to the left, not much running room there. I believe that was number 22 on the tackle. It's hard to tell through that hair, but let's see if we can get a look there. That is, in fact, number 22. Lafali Collins, the linebacker, making the play. Collins is a sophomore from Samoa, 6'2", 210. Brings up a 3rd and 6 here. And David Fernandez is still, in fact, the quarterback. Down along the sideline here to see if we can see number 10 at all. Do see a player down here on crutches. I don't know if that's Chris Clark or not, but I do not see Chris Clark's number 10 jersey anywhere along the Bulldogs sidelines. I'm guessing his night is over. Clock now showing 12:59 to go here in the third quarter. A big 3rd and 10 now coming up because they've spotted the ball back on the 28-yard line. Elvik, if this game starts to get out of hand anymore, you might have to prepare a little song and dance for us, and one of those
I can see that happening.
Blowout entertainment games. We might need something. Nice catch.
Wow.
And you just got saved on that one as Mr. Andre Z making a large, huge 3rd and 10 catch to give his teammates another first down. He needed 10 yards, and that's exactly what he got there. That will move the chains. That will give the Bulldogs a first down.
He snatched that one right out of the air. Did you see that?
That was nice. Yeah. He is a nice receiver. It's just unfortunate his name isn't Smith or Jones. It would be easier to say, but I have been impressed with his game tonight so far. 3 flags flying all over the place right now. We saw a flag on both sides of the field. So I'm not sure if we have multiple infractions or not, as the carry went for no gain.
Was that Collins that you called out earlier? You say something about Collins?
Collins? Did we mention a Collins earlier?
Somebody from Samoa?
Oh, yeah, we did have a Samoan player on there, yeah.
You have 2?
Yeah, Collins.
Yeah, you got a brothers. They have brothers on the team. They've got a
there we go. Well, yeah.
We did an interview with them.
Well, now you share this with me.
There's
Thanks.
some big fellas.
Yeah, they look like big fellas. And I think we're going to get a timeout here, as that penalty did go against the Red Raiders. That will give the Bulldogs a 1st and 5. So we got this is an interesting roster. I mean, you think of a college team out of Everett, Washington, and you think that it's mostly going to be players within a 20-mile radius of where the team practices and where they play. But I mean, I'm just looking down here right now. It's Oregon, Tennessee, Florida. We mentioned 2 players from Samoa, another Florida player, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Georgia, South Carolina, Hawaii. Go to the next page here. San Diego, California, Charleston, South Carolina, Sisters, Oregon. I mean, it's definitely not just. Did you
say Tennessee?
I think we said Tennessee in there as well, didn't we?
Because I think that we've got somebody watching from Tennessee.
Watching from Tennessee.
We should do a shout out. Do we know who that is?
You tell me. Who do we got from Tennessee that's watching us tonight? Is it one of the family members?
It is.
Oh. I was so busy looking for the Tennessee player on the roster that I looked away and just missed the play there.
Tennessee. Oh, right up at the top there, Knoxville.
Oh, there we go. Oh, that's right, Stephen Allen, who we talked about earlier.
Shout out to the Allen family.
Allen family in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's
pretty late back there, but I'll bet they're watching.
I bet they are too, and I bet they're liking what they see so far. It's a 29-2 game.
This is probably a better view here. This is probably a better view that they would have.
Indeed. This beats a phone call after the game, right? You can just go ahead and watch it live. Another running play over, and as soon as we say his name, and they're going to whistle that one dead, but the aforementioned Stephen Allen from Knoxville, Tennessee, stripped that ball out at the end of the play. Fortunately, it was already down. They're going to move the chains forward. Another 1st down. So, yeah, Allen, the left corner right now. 5'10", 185 pounds, and we certainly hope that the family is watching there. Shoot us a tweet if you are, right? What's the Twitter handle here for you guys, Todd?
Snohomish Sports.
That's
at Snohomish Sports.
At Snohomish Sports. So shoot us a tweet. Let us know if you're watching. We hope you are. Another play made in the backfield there as Collins, another player we just mentioned a few minutes ago, the Samoan, making that play along with number 18. That's Darren Borab. Both breaking through the offensive line there to
somebody's hand warmer there fell off.
Stack the running back for a loss of 5 yards. Second and 15 coming up. 10:33 to go here in the 3rd quarter. A game that has been mostly Red Raiders from the get-go. They now lead 9-2. Hernandez back to throw. Floats it into the flat, finds Button over there. He's able to get upfield a little bit before being tackled there by a diving Isaiah Lee, who got him by the feet. Button was able to get up to the 43-yard line. It's going to leave him about 3 yards short here on 3rd down. As the Bulldogs once again are on the Red Raider side of the field. Not the first time down here by any means tonight. This seems to be where they run into problems, though, as they just have not been able to convert. Only 2 points of the game is safety that came very early on a botched play by the quarterback. Sweep out to the right-hand side, and that's not going very far. They might have picked up a yard on that play. It's going to bring up a 4th and 2. Number 42, Gabriel Collins, limping off the field on that play. We'll keep an eye on him, seeing if he gets back on here shortly, but hobbles his way over to the sideline.
I'd like to mention there's a lot of people here. I mean, I'm really surprised.
Yeah. No, I thought the same thing coming up here tonight. It's Labor Day weekend. There's a lot of things going on with families. There's another football game tonight around here that people are paying attention to that we thought might keep some folks away. But yeah, when you look into this crowd here, it's got a little bit of a high school feel to it, really, in terms of the attendance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty good attendance, and they're all pretty well into it.
these are fun games, and quite frankly, I hope more people start to come out and support these teams. Football in the state of Washington at the collegiate level is really kind of limited. I mean, you've got the Huskies and the Cougars playing at the D1 level, and then the next level down, you've got your Easterns and your Central. Have a program anymore. You've got your PLUs and your UPSs, but really in terms of the community colleges, there's nothing really around here anymore for these young athletes if they want. And that ball is picked off. Nice play by number 9. That's Joseph Hopkins making his second interception of the game. And with 8:28 to go, the Red Raiders are going to have the ball one more time, this time on their own 35-yard line. And getting back to what we were just talking about, for a league to start up around this area that enables players right out of high school to have a chance to continue playing and to play meaningful games. I mean, these are guys who are trying to catch on at Division I schools. They're trying to, and in some cases, this is their best route to, this is their school and to stay in college or go to college to begin with. And I'd like to think that more people will start supporting this program here. And that's a deep pass. Intercepted right back. Callaway with his first INT of the game. And this one is picked off by, it looks like number 17, Yusuf Abdullah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wait, what are they calling here now? There's a penalty flag down.
Well, because I think that the interception was taken away from him on the way down. So I think they're deciding who it belongs to.
Wouldn't that be something? I did see one of the referees signaling down for the Red Raiders to maintain possession.
There they go. So now we're the interception's good.
Interception is good, so back-to-back interceptions by both teams there. But yeah, I would certainly encourage folks to come out and check this brand of football out if they haven't had a chance to yet. It's, like I said, it's still somewhat in its infancy. It's in its 4th year, and they're trying to add more teams all the time. We mentioned the Raiders are in their 4th season of existence, and the Bulldogs now in their 2nd season. And
well, I think this system here is really, really healthy because this allows the kids to get into a 2-year school and be able to do, get their prerequisites done to be able to get into the big 4-year school. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to do anything. No, not at all. And we've got 8:21 to go on the clock here. Hernandez gives the ball to Button. Button looking for a fly sweep again, and he does not find much space. In fact, he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Number 22, Collins, down on the play. His brother just went out with an injury just a few moments ago. Let's see if he stays on the field. I'm thinking we need to get the scissors down there. He's got some pretty...
I don't think he'd take to that very well. I think you might be... I wouldn't advise it. Let's put it that way.
He's a big fella. I was standing next to him, and I usually think that I'm a fairly good-sized guy, but that guy is big.
I'm not taking him in his hair. He can keep it, and I'll call him Mr. if I see him. Mr. Collins staying on the field there, shaking off the injury. Hernandez dropping back to pass. Ball goes off the fingertips of the intended receiver. It was Andre Z looking for a catch. Nice defensive play by Paul LeBreche on that play to separate Andre from the ball. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. But yeah, we certainly want to encourage folks to get out to these games. As we mentioned earlier, 3 more home games for the Everett Red Raiders this year. And just looking at their schedule, I mean, this isn't exactly a team that's playing all local either. They're going all over the place. They go to Eastern Arizona next weekend to play Eastern Arizona College. We'll talk about some of their road games coming up here as well. Hernandez takes the snap, looking downfield, finds his receiver, and you know what? That's the cardinal no-no for wide receivers, as Mipe caught the ball past the first down marker, was looking to make something more out of the play, ran backwards, and then was tackled about 2 yards behind the first down mark. Rather than get a first down, he's got a 4th and 2 now.
No, somebody's not very happy about it next door.
I think I don't know if you caught what he just said just now.
I did not.
I think it's the offensive coordinator over there. It's one of the coordinators for the... Oh, and there goes the snap past Hernandez. Falls on it, might try to make something out of this. He scrambles to his left. He's just looking to run right now. Puts his shoulder down, breaks one tackle. Actually breaks a 2nd and 3rd. And he is very close to a first down. That was 4th and 2 on that play.
I think he might have got that.
I don't know. The spot looks like it might be a bit short now. Let's see what they say. The point that the
marker from here looks like it's on the first yard.
Oh, they're going to give it to him. Nice play by Hernandez. It was a 4th and 2. They were in shotgun formation. The ball got snapped past him. He had to go about 10 yards back just to pick the ball up. Broke 3 or 4 tackles on his way back to the first down marker and picked it up by just a few inches.
Listen, this is just like every other level. Let me just tell you, he would just like to, he would like to have the starting job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's trying to show. This time right under center. Pitches the ball. They look to run to the left or right rather, and there's nothing there. Number 29. That's Shane Scheringer. He just steps up and levels him. Scheringer, the 5'11", 200-pound linebacker from Kingsland, Georgia. Another Kingsland, Georgia. Ever been?
Couldn't they at least list the city as something a little larger that's like something somebody's heard of? You're from Seattle, but really you're from like Auburn.
You never know. For all I know, Kingsland could be the 4th largest city there. I've just never been.
That's a
nice,
good pass.
Yeah, great pass there down the field. And Hernandez starting to feel it a little bit. He's getting more comfortable with his situation. I believe that was Button, number 18, making the catch.
By the way, there was no disrespect there to Kingsland.
Not at all.
Because they're probably there in Kingsland watching.
They could be watching tonight, and we love you, Kingsland.
We got 253 viewers right now, so I'm telling you right now that somebody's out there's watching.
What's the Twitter handle again? Snohomish Sports, right?
Yeah.
Let's hear from you, Kingsland. 5:27 to go here, third quarter. Bulldogs putting something together all of a sudden. Throwing the ball deep, throwing it into traffic, and boy, number 9, Joseph Hopkins, was about 6 inches away from his 3rd interception of the night. I was going to point out a few minutes ago, the coach next door here was yelling that the middle has been wide open, and he's absolutely correct. There have been a number of occasions, not only with Hernandez in at quarterback, but when Clark was in there as well. There's been a few times where I thought maybe the Bulldogs might try to expose the secondary over that middle there. They've done it a few times tonight, and it's been there. A few completions, a few that were just off the mark. Little bubble screen over to the left here. That was number 24, Andre Marticio making the catch.
Oh, this is good stuff. You know, somebody else ought to teach me how to use the social media because sometimes you get on there, you got good stuff. So we got a shout out from Bernard Brown out of Jacksonville, Florida. The family is tuned in. Keep working hard, bro.
That's I'm guessing that's for Bernard Brown. Yeah, number 4, the freshman who's had a big game tonight earlier.
Well, there's another one there for Bernard.
And a fumble on the play. Ball is still loose. Finally picked up by number 34. It's Bo Riggs who saved that play from being a turnover. Number 42, Gabriel Collins, who was hobbling off the field injured just a few minutes ago. He's back and apparently not feeling too much pain from that injury as he got through there and almost caused the turnover. It's going to bring up a 4th and 9, and that will bring in another punting situation.
Well, listen, you want to get a shout out there, send us something at Snohomish Sports.
At Snohomish Sports on the Twitter.
Is that your friend there? The thing
yeah, that's Superfan there who I believe took a picture of the broadcast and posted that on the internet. It's a nice shot. And that punt is going to be down at the 20-yard line, a 39-yard punt, and that is where the Red Raiders will take over possession. Yeah, that's John. He watches a lot of our broadcast and actually has come to quite a few of our games and helped us set up and take down and just has decided that he enjoys what we do, enjoys the high school sports scene, and helps us out from time to time.
Well, John, you know, up north there in Snohomish, we can always use a little help too. So Steve, you come on over and talk to us.
Well, you know, he's a big fan of. He went to high school with Kevin Todd, who is father of Jason Todd, who was one of your basketball players at Jackson last year. So I know he's been a big supporter of Jackson sports as well. So you might see him at one or two of your games this year. although the Todds are no longer active at the school. As Callaway finds some room over to the left, gets around the corner, and is able to pick up a first down. He goes out of bounds right about the 33-yard line, a gain of 12.
Yeah, boy, Todd was good to watch. Jason?
Oh, yeah. Incredible.
Amazing.
Taking his game down to the University of Portland next year, where I'm sure he will do well and prosper. I can't imagine him. He seems to play very well at every level he's ever been at. Ball is thrown just behind the intended receiver. That's number 11, Trey Robinson. Callaway had him cutting across the middle, going left to right. He could have led him just a little bit. Robinson might have had some room to run. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Two and a half quarters to pull up the Twitter feed, right? Now we've got it going.
I'm telling you, you have to tell me, this is how social media works. You gotta actually use it.
It's true. And here we are, waiting for more tweets from the Browns now, right? Callaway running around to the right, lunges forward, and finally is brought down at the 41-yard line. Gain of about 9. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short.
Well, he picked up a new follower there, Emily Hall. Thanks, Emily.
There we go. We're not really sure who Emily's rooting for. She hasn't tweeted at you yet, but we'll hopefully find out.
She's going to do it, though. I can hear it. I can hear the wheels turning there.
Quick look down the roster. I don't see any Halls on here, but we'll find out soon, hopefully. 2:39 to go here, 3rd quarter. Callaway scrambles away from one would-be tackler, finds some space, and gets across midfield after a gain of 13 yards.
He's got some good moves.
He's got some good moves and just very quick. Anytime you can get a quarterback who can scramble away from defenders like that, it's a stop.
There's who Emily's looking for.
Austin Bradshaw, huh?
Number 89.
Throw into the flat. Ball is dropped as that one was intended for number 11, Trey Robinson once again. So Austin Bradshaw, number 89.
Where do you have him on there?
It's the 5'9". Let's see, here's
from Marysville.
From Marysville, there we go. Marysville Getchell. We got a few Getchell players on this team, I've noticed. Ball is snapped low. Callaway fakes the handoff. Takes it around to the left-hand side and is tackled at the 40-yard line. A little bit of a read option play there, as I think he had the option of either handing it off or keeping it and decided to take it himself.
Now, I'm not even going to attempt this name here. We have another new follower here, Nancy.
Oh, that was the one from earlier. She's watching Bernard Brown.
Oh, yeah.
It's Nancy Gamma, right? So assuming
I saw the middle one there, and how do you say that?
Nancy Ferrante Gamma? See, you ask for followers, and now you start getting them. Way to go, Todd. The power of the internet, folks.
There's a lot of Brown fans here, because now we've got Brandon Brown who just joined us.
Brandon, who we believe is the brother of Bernard Brown. This is what you do when you're down, or when your team's up 27 with 16 and a half minutes of play still, right?
Well, it's sure a lot of fun. It's their first year coming out and doing some college ball. And these players, let me just tell you, I think that most of them could get on at any one of the D1 schools. And here they are just working their hearts out.
And you've got to give a lot of admiration to these guys anyway. I mean, really, you don't get the respect that the D1 school large stadiums, and you get the scholarship that comes along with it, and the room and board and everything else. Callaway fires down the middle. The ball is caught, and that is another first down by number 21. That's Ramazov, the running back, who lined up in a slot that time and cut across the middle there on a slant, and he gets down the field for about a 20-yard gain there and gets a first down at the 25-yard line. And yeah, for these guys to come out and play at this level with not a lot of fanfare, a lot of the folks that they're walking through when they're walking around the halls, their other students don't know that they're football players. I mean, they're going out and they're getting beat up in practice every day, and for them to get this accolade in these broadcasts, it's nice to kind of reward them a little bit and have their names called out. And certainly, hopefully the Brown family enjoyed seeing that 60-yard reception earlier, and I hope some of these other guys are getting a chance to pick up a little exposure along the way as well.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that most of the viewers know that, they're not using school facilities. This club team here, they're not using they're not part of the 9. So they use their own gas, they use their own facilities, everything is on them.
Callaway getting hit from behind. The ball is fumbled. I believe it was recovered by one of his own teammates there. That was a nice play by...
Good heads up.
I want to say that was number 3 that hit him there. Again, we go back to this time and time again. It's hard to read those numbers from our vantage point there in terms of the blue on blue that the Bulldogs are wearing.
If they made those outlines maybe neon, what do you think?
That would help.
And now you could probably put like a little LED. Wouldn't that say?
We may not be far off from that. It's as interesting as that sounds. The advent of the uniforms these days and where we're going with them, I could see that in the next few years. That is the end of the third quarter, by the way. So our score here is 29-2. The Red Raiders continuing to lead the Bulldogs. Lost about 7 yards on the play. So 15 minutes of action to go here. Red Raiders up 29-2. They do have the ball. Still a good chance for these two teams if you're a player on either team. You're still trying to, the game might be a foregone conclusion in terms of who wins and who loses, but trying to get yourself prepared and ready to go for the rest of the season. Always good to get the experience in there early on, maybe even for some of the backups for that matter. Getting them out here and getting them some game time experience and getting ready to go for the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, they need to make sure that all these guys, they remember that you don't ever stop. You don't ever give up. You just keep on trucking forward. And frankly, any game is a learning experience.
Well, at this level, too, you're a 2-year player, essentially. It's not as though it's like the Seattle Seahawks where you march an offense onto the field and it's 8 or 9 of the same guys from the year before. A lot of these players weren't on this team or weren't playing as much last year, and so there is still that need to kind of work things out and to get that cohesion as a group and work a little bit stronger as a unit. And, even though the Red Raiders are up 29-2, they haven't been perfect tonight. They can certainly play better. And
they've got some room for improvement.
Absolutely, and I think they know that, and they're going to use this fourth quarter to get there. Incomplete pass by Callaway, by the way. That brings up a 4th and 17.
I think a lot of times, being that we cover a lot of high school sports, sometimes the games will start getting away from you. You have to just kind of redefine your victories. And so, you might not win the game, but how many more first downs can you get? How many completed passes can you get with a backup quarterback? Little things that might not show up on the scoreboard, but they certainly show up in the experience level of the players that are looking to be able to complete those plays. We got laundry all over the place.
Yeah, again, not the first time tonight. We had one yellow flag dropped back by the 15-yard line, which is where the punt return unit for the Bulldogs were lined up. There's 2 guys back there right now.
The cameraman happened to bring me a little video that he had on his phone somebody sent him that shows the front of the stadium. It's got multiple lights that are flashing up and down on the entrance. Looks really, really good.
They've done a nice job with this facility here. It's
pull that up, Josh.
Punt was almost blocked, and then the punter is hit, and on a 4th and 17 play, that might be an automatic first down. I'm not sure what they were thinking there. John Higgins was back to kick, and quite frankly, the player who was coming in at him, I think if he would have stuck his hands out, could have blocked the punt. Didn't even try to block the punt, but once the punt was kicked away, just put his shoulder into him and hit him, and that's going to be an automatic first down, I believe, for the Red Raiders. Unbelievable. You hold them to a 4th and 17. You're about to get the ball back. And one of your special teams players just blatantly puts his shoulder into the punter. And you give them a first down. And we just talked about it a minute ago. Even if you know who's going to win or lose this game tonight, you still need to be preparing for the rest of your season. Those are the mental errors you need to cut out in this quarter because you've committed way too many of them in the first 3 quarters as it is. Let's work at getting better if you're a Bulldog fan.
Emily again, she wants to say go Bradshaw.
Well, we're looking for number 89 to get in there, and we will be doing our best to pull for Austin Bradshaw as well, Emily. Callaway rolling out to his left, throws downfield, almost caught. Hey, there's our guy. Bernard Brown was the intended receiver. I believe one of the
we have
DB.
a bunch of tweets out for Bernard.
I know we do, and he almost got a second touch, or I guess I shouldn't say touchdown. This last one was a long gain down to the 11-yard line, which set up a touchdown. Didn't quite catch what they were doing there, but... Okay, I do get that now. So that 4th and 17 on the punt was not an automatic first down. It just gave them yards. That was a 4th down pass there, not a first down pass. So therefore, the incomplete pass is a turnover on downs. Bulldogs football. Does that make sense?
It does.
So Hernandez coming back onto the field. Hands the ball off. Nice tackle by number 44. That's Joe Glifke. Glifke is a 6'3", 230-pound freshman from Renton, so I think he knows the stadium fairly well. Coming into the stadium as an enemy this time around. I'm sure he probably played a few games here back in his high school days in front of the home crowd, and not tonight, but he makes his presence known on that play. Holding the running back, Taylor Smith, to only a 1-yard gain. Hernandez drops back to pass, throws out into the flat. Ball is caught. That is number 24 on the catch. It's Andre Marticio. It's wrestled out of bounds by Richard Ramsey.
I think Richard might have a little unsportsmanlike there.
Did they throw a flag there as well?
They did.
I think you're right. They did, in fact, throw a 15-yard flag, and that's going to give them an automatic first down.
You got to be careful on that kind of thing. You know, I mean, they're already up, and he was already out of bounds. Just stop the play.
You know, and you can get away with that a little bit in a 29-2 game. Next week, you might be involved in a tie game in the 4th quarter. You give your opponent a 15-yard automatic first down like that. Could be the difference between winning and losing. Right down the middle, ball was intended for Button, overthrown, incomplete. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. See, I started to mention this earlier, just looking at some of the opponents coming up for the Red Raiders. At Eastern Arizona, then they're home for Central Sound. They go on the road to play Linfield's JV team. Linfield, always a powerhouse down in Oregon. Have a home game against Lewis and Clark. Then they match up against Eastside again on October 11th. That'll be up in Everett. Go to Lewis and Clark and play them at the Kiwi Dome, which is where the University of Idaho plays. Should be kind of exciting. Then they have a road game at Central Sound before finishing the season off against the Pacific University JV team.
So when you're talking about a JV team, is that like a bottom half of a 4-year school?
It would be, yeah. Which you don't see. I don't know if a lot of these teams have true JV teams anymore. Back in the day, before you had scholarship limitations, I think more schools actually played quote-unquote JV teams, and they went around each week playing. I think what that essentially does is I think it enables a lot of those 4-year schools to let some of the underclassmen, maybe even in the case of some of the redshirt players, a chance to get some game action in as opposed to only getting practice reps. And and then also maybe some of the players who you want to reward that, you could even have some of your juniors and seniors who aren't getting a lot of playing time, but they've been in your program from day one, and you want to make sure that they get on the field and get some action in, and they're able to put on that game uniform and actually play. And so it's always good to see those games as well. And those are games that can go either way. We've seen a few Red Raider victories from those games and some losses in the last couple of years.
Well, we have another new follower here.
Who do we have?
Clay Hoggard. Would you say it that way? Clay Hoggard.
I believe so. Clay Hoggard watching from Crest Ridge, California.
Go number 49.
Number 49. Who do we got there?
You got a little cross. You got a little cheat sheet there.
We do. I've got unless he's if he's rooting for, I'm guessing he's rooting for Michael DeWalt then, who's from Charleston, South Carolina. So Clay, maybe you can tweet out at us and let us know if that's in fact who you're rooting for there.
What do you got on the other side?
That's a good question. Let me look on that one here as well. As Hernandez scrambles around to his right, throws down the field, incomplete. Oh, there's number 49 on Eastside as well. It's Alex UK, who's from, all it says here is he's from Lenape High School. It doesn't say what state that's in. I have a feeling that Mr. Hogarth there is rooting for one of our Red Raiders, though. Let's find out if, see if he maybe gives us another shout out there.
Oh, yeah, it says that Red Raiders there.
Oh, he does. He says, okay, there we go.
Yeah, maybe if I read a little bit further. Again, it's that public school education. It just...
Not serving you well tonight, huh?
Yes.
So 3rd and 8 coming up here from the 37-yard line. Bulldogs, I'm sure, at some point tonight would like to get on the scoreboard there offensively. They did put up a safety in the first quarter, and that's not a way to do it there, as another incomplete pass is going to bring up a 4th and 8. And with 12:54 to go in this game, Bulldogs are running out of opportunities here if they do want to, in fact, get into that end zone before the end of the game.
I think I'll step next door and see if they can give me an update on their quarterback.
That'd be great if you could get that for us. We'd definitely like to hear that and try to get that for you. So it's again, that's number 10, Chris Clark. Did notice that there is a player down on the field on crutches. That may or may not be him, but we'll try to find out. Hernandez on 4th and 8, scrambles, tries to find some open room up in the middle of the field. Can't do it, though. Might have picked up a yard, well short of the first down, and that's going to be another turnover on downs. And the Red Raiders will bring their offense back onto the field. .27 to go here in the game. One thing I did notice, too, is that they do have a running clock going right now. I don't know if that's customary, much the way it is in high school. If a team gets a large enough lead on an opponent, they will start the clock before the possession even begins. Or perhaps it was just an error on the scorekeeper's part. I'm not sure, but at any rate, the clock is running. It's number 28 going up the middle of the field right there. Nico Lyria picks up a gain of 4. So 11:41 to go here in the game. Callaway dropping back to pass. Scrambling away from a couple of different players. Finally finds some room. Pulls back before he goes across the line of scrimmage. Penalty flag is thrown. We have an interception. To wait to see what the call was there. Got 2 flags down on the field. Not sure if it's for the same infraction or not. Illegal man downfield for the Red Raiders. The Bulldogs will decline that. And for the second time tonight, Callaway has thrown an interception, and that will give the Bulldogs another possession. Once again, they're on the Red Raider side of the field already. They're on the 40-yard line. And with 11:31 to go, the Bulldogs are still looking for their first offensive points of the night. They've actually changed that on the scoreboard. It's the 48-yard line. At any rate, they are still on the Bulldogs side or the Red Raiders side of the field. And Hernandez coming onto the field with a 4-receiver set, and we get 2, make it 3 now, penalty flags. All 3 officials in the defensive backfield, all threw flags at the same time.
So we got 3 guys out. All of them have concussions. So we've got the quarterback, Chris Clark. He's out with
a concussion. Okay.
Michael Harper, he's out with a concussion.
These are all 3 Bulldogs, I should point out, for Eastside.
And Taryn Talley's out with a concussion. And we have Taylor Smith, who's out there playing with a tore shoulder.
Ooh. And I'm noticing here, the 3 guys you just mentioned, those are, Eastside has 4 players listed as team captains. 3 of the 4 team captains are all out with concussions. Clark, Harper, and Talley are all out with concussions, correct?
That is correct.
They're all 3 team captains, too. That's not a good way to start your season off. And concussions are no joking matter. We certainly hope all 3 of those gentlemen are okay, and we'll be ready to go later on this season. And
yeah, absolutely. There's nothing funny about a concussion.
Not at all.
They need to make sure that they are 100% before they go back out there.
And to the credit of football at all levels right now, a lot more precautions being taken these days for concussions than in the past. And I'm sure the coaching staff and the other folks involved with each of these teams will make sure that those players are checked out before they're cleared to play again. Well, screen pass doesn't go very far on that play. We've got a 3rd and 10 coming up with 10:50 to go here in the ball game. Talked earlier about how many people have come out to this game. I've noticed not very many leaving yet either, which is kind of nice. The fans that are here are really here to support their players, and usually in games like this, when score gets a little out of hand, you start to see people trickling out slowly, and we haven't seen any of that tonight.
No, these fans are dedicated, I would have to say.
Incomplete pass by Hernandez. That's going to bring up a 4th and 10. No need to bring on a punt team. You're down by 27. Nothing to lose, really. Hernandez bringing this team back out onto the field. Spread formation here. He has 2 receivers out to his right, 2 to his left. Hernandez drops back to pass. Throws it across the middle. Complete. Button catches the ball and is immediately drilled by Hopkins. Great play by both of those players. 20-yard gain, and that is a 1st down for the Bulldogs. Again, we're not keeping stats up here tonight, but Tyler Button has had himself a nice game, especially when you take into account that their team only has 2 points all night. Button seems to be in on just about every other play for these Bulldogs, and he's been doing everything from catching passes down the field to fly sweeps, kickoff returns. He's done a little bit of everything for the Bulldogs. Unfortunately, it just hasn't been quite enough.
Did they catch him off guard there?
Saw a player go in motion there. I'm not sure what they're going to call here. They call against the defense. That's another 5 yards. Bulldogs are threatening one more time. "23 yards away from pay dirt right here. Let's see what the Bulldogs can do." Hernandez looking towards the end zone, rolling out, fakes the throw, and is going down hard. Sack on the play by number 93. That's Andrew Karima. Karima from Spokane is 6 foot, 265-pound defensive lineman out of Ferris High School. It's an 8-yard loss on the play, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 13 for the Bulldogs with 9:05 to go here in the game.
Listen to me. You see it too.
Yeah, one of the coaches for the Bulldogs just came over to us. I'll tell you about that in just a second. Hernandez throws to Button again over the middle. Button does a nice job to hold on to that one. A gain of 16 down to the 15-yard line and another first down. One of the assistant coaches for the Bulldogs is frustrated because number 1, which is Mipe, the receiver for the Bulldogs, has been open on more than one occasion, and I think he's a little frustrated that Hernandez has not hit him yet. Let's see if he tries this time, as Mipe is running across the middle this time. No, he's going to throw it into the left corner of the end zone, and they pick up a pass interference call. All 3 flags from every one of the referees back there is thrown. And the Bulldogs, with their best opportunity of the night to score, with 8:21 to go here in the ballgame. There's the official call. We already knew that.
Now, is that just 15 yards or a spot of the foul?
It's usually 15 yards. However, believe, and I don't quote me on this one, but I mean, they're going to put it on the 2-yard line. It does change when you're within that 15-yard window there, and they were on the 15-yard line when they threw it. You can't really put them into the end zone. I think there's, at some point, they just put you on the 2-yard line and say you have to punch it in from there. Timeout by the Bulldogs. So they're on the 2-yard line here with 8:20 to go. First down and goal. And this is their best chance of the night to score. To take a moment to remind everybody once again that we are proud to announce this year that Shoreline Community College will be the presenting sponsor for both the Snohomish Times Sports Network and the Sound Live Sports Network for all of our high school sports broadcasts this fall. Shoreline Community College is known for its digital filmmaking program, which provides a hands-on approach to learning video production combined with a solid introduction to the theory and history of cinema. Definitely encourage any students who are looking to get into filmmaking of any sort, or broadcasting for that matter as well, to look at the programs over there at Shoreline Community College. At least in our neck of the woods, they seem to be at the forefront of that, and we appreciate them for their support all year long. Touchdown Bulldogs! They finally get an offensive point tonight. Their first points overall since scoring that safety in the first minute of the game. Number 34, it's Bo Riggs, the fullback, punching it in from 2 yards out.
Good for them.
Makes the score 29-8. Well, the last time these two teams met, it was 32-8. If you miss this extra point here, and then if the Red Raiders can get down the field for a field goal, we could have a matching score. And the Bulldogs calling a timeout here before the PAT.
I always enjoy watching the linemen come off the field, or when they're trying to run off the field. Those big old boys, they're just like, oh.
Well, especially when it's your first game of the year and your conditioning probably isn't up to where you want it to be, and playing that full 60-minute game here, or thereabouts. We're 52 minutes in anyway. They're a little winded right now.
They look like they're saying, oh, don't make me stand up. I like it when my hands are in the dirt.
Yeah, these guys have had a long night for sure. That's especially the way both of these teams have been running quick plays anyway, or up-tempo offenses. I know Everett in particular, not wasting much time between snaps. Some of these big lineman guys probably long for the days of the 70s and 80s when it was more smash mouth and let that 35-second clock run down before you snap the ball again and
go back to a huddle and talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. All these passing plays nowadays, it keeps stopping the clock and earning their keep. And there we go. As soon as we start talking about offensive linemen, we have to call them out for mistakes as well. And false start there is going to push the Bulldogs 5 yards back on this PAT attempt. I should say 2-point conversion attempt as they're lining up to try to get the score into double digits. Coach, do we know what play we're going to see here? Do we know what play we're going to see? Asking the Eastside coach if he's going to tell us what play we've got coming up here. If he can give us an inside track here.
I would say a right side toss.
He thinks it's going to be a right side toss here. Let's see what we get here.
Let's see if they listen to him.
They didn't listen to him. They went for the fullback Riggs right up the middle, and he's not going anywhere. They should have listened to you, right? That ball did not go anywhere, and consequently, scoreboard remains the same. It's still 29-8 with 8:16 to go here in the game.
Well, Clay would like to tell us that, yes, sir, he's watching number 49, and he's from Ridgecrest. He says, keep up the good work. He likes listening to us.
Well, Clay, we appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.
He must be talking about you, Steve. It's
good to know somebody's listening to us at this point, right?
I'm working on the whole Madden end of it. Well, if he would have caught the pass, he would have got the touchdown.
Well, again, it's been a fun brand of football here. It's a level of football that I haven't really watched that much in the past, and to get out here tonight and to see these guys in person, it is exciting. And like you said, these guys put their hearts into it. They're playing this game because they love it and hoping to take it to the next level in some cases. And
I think it shows too. I think that there is nothing. This is as good as it gets in high school, and yet here we are, college, and they've taken it just that one notch bigger.
Well, you know, I've criticized a little bit tonight for some of the extracurricular and some of the penalties after the plays, but I think in some cases it's just these guys are so passionate about what they're doing. They're competitive, and then by their nature, it's hard for them to pull up at the end of a play, and certainly you want to curb that enthusiasm a little bit and have them contain it a little bit, but at the same time you respect them for going out there and trying to battle, and even this late in the game to watch a team like the Bulldogs continue to play hard even though that, you know, they're more than likely not going to win this game. They're still out here competing, and got to give it up to all these guys out here.
Well, we got a chance to watch them a couple of weeks ago. They went a late flag.
What's your Twitter?
At Snohomish Times. We got to watch them a couple of weeks ago at practice, and I got to tell you that they don't pull up at practice either, and they were a little bit cranky towards each other. And I was thinking to myself, you know, maybe it's because that they're all new. So many of the players is such a large turnover, but no, they are very, very. I mean, even at practice, they're pretty hardcore.
By the way, that was Chris Jones who with the fair catch on that play. A very smart play that you don't often see. I should say you often see players.
What was that
make
last
errors on
penalty,
that
though?
play?
That looked like 15 yards.
It was a personal foul of some sort. But Jones putting that hand up in the air, knowing that just because the ball's being, a lot of times you'll see the onside kick where the ball bounces off the turf and there's a big scrum for it. Jones knew that when that ball is up in the air, nobody can touch him if he puts his hand up and waves it off immediately. And rather than trying to catch it and then trying to find yardage, knowing you're going to get hit immediately, he just said, you know what, if you're going to kick it 10 yards down the field, I'm just going to put my hand up in the air, fair catch it, and I'll let my team have the ball in decent field position, and that's what he did. Before the 15-yard penalty, of course. But
we just got a shout-out from Brian Mann. He's the assistant coach next door. He's just telling us great coverage, guys.
When you say next door, you mean about 6 feet away from us right now.
Oh, yeah,
Brian was just standing here a second ago.
He was telling us the right toss, which wound up going up the middle.
Nice little play here. That's, once again, we haven't seen this in a while. Ramazov, the running back, sweeping out to the right. He was getting a lot of carries early on in the game. Now he's back in there. I don't know we'll have to find out what Brian's position is on the team there. I think Brian, where did he go here? Hey, Brian, what's your title with the team? What
Offensive line coach.
He's the offensive line coach. Okay.
No wonder he's yelling so much.
Oh, here comes Callaway again. Gets away from one tackler. Lunges forward to the 50-yard line, a gain of 8. I figured he couldn't be the offensive coordinator because he keeps yelling from the booth at what plays he wants them to run, and they're not running them. So I thought if that is the case, then there's no communication between OC and head coach. But he's the line coach, and he's having a lot of fun up here. And you can tell he's passionate about what he's doing. This is good stuff. From South Carolina, and he just showed me a South Carolina Gamecock tattoo on his forearm. rough weekend for them, unfortunately. Got off to a bad start against Texas A&M on Thursday. But oh, and there goes Callaway up the middle again. Still running hard, even though they're up by 21 with 6.5 minutes to go. Still competing. You have to respect that.
You know, I don't know if I'd be pushing that hard if I was Callaway because, you know, he's got a long season ahead of him. And this is game one. He gets out there and does something, gets himself hurt. I'm not saying.
And as we say that, he is a little bit. He's gimping right now a little bit. Clock continues to run. I have a feeling we won't see too many more of those runs up the middle by Callaway for the rest of the night, but we'll stay tuned for that. Trips lined out to the left, and he goes to the. As soon as I say that, he takes off on a keeper to the right with no intention of giving that ball up at all, and does a nice job to get out of bounds. And
I think he must be thinking about heading back to a nice hot tub, be able to get those bruises and the aches and pains out later.
I know Shane Noriega, number 17, is also listed as a quarterback on this team. Noriega from Kamiak High School up in our neck of the woods in Mukilteo, so perhaps we'll see him before the night's over. Keep an eye open for him.
Every time they line up in trips, man, they do the same quarterback run to the other side. Elementary, Pop Warner football. Oh, man.
Got two receivers lined up to each side here. Callaway in shotgun formation. Hands the ball off, and number 24 was ready, and he broke away from it, and he's still running. Finally brought down at the 11-yard line. That's Tyler Watson, who was met in the backfield by one of the linebackers who hit him.
Cold.
I thought he was going to go down for a 2-yard loss. Broke out of that tackle, then broke out of another before he picked up 20 yards.
That was one hard hit, too.
Yeah, we could hear that up here. 5:20 to go in the game. Red Raiders looking for more points. Callaway still in a shotgun formation. Watson lined up just to his left. Hands the ball off to Watson. Eludes one tackler, breaks through another one, and he's still going. Give Watson some credit there. He's fighting for everything right now. He picks up 3, maybe 4 yards. As the whistles blow there, and he will be down. Looking at about a 2nd and 7 coming up here inside the 10-yard line. So I don't know if we can see that on TV at all there right now, or on the internet, I should say. It is kind of spectacular looking when you look beyond the bleachers on the other side of the field, and to think that we're broadcasting right next to an airport. And
well, let's hope that they don't light one of those jets off.
Yeah, no kidding. Callaway scrambling around, rolls to his left, trying to find something. Finally goes out of bounds at the 10-yard line. And we've got some fairly big jets over there lined up.
Josh, give us a shot over there, will you?
And the lights, the way they're hitting those planes right now, it's makes for a very interesting scene there that you don't normally get at a high school football stadium.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Look at that. Isn't that
something else? I believe the runway itself is to our left. I think I was looking at this on the satellite earlier this morning. I believe there's a bridge that connects this area of the airport over here to the runway, and the planes can take off and land just over to our left. I haven't seen any tonight, but I'm sure that would be something to see on a Friday or Saturday night when football's going on.
Well, I can't even imagine to light one of those things off and blow it this. Well, they probably just drag them one way or the other.
4:04 to go in the game. 3rd and 10 coming up.
Well, Steve, I'd like to thank you for coming out once again. You've done an amazing job tonight, and Teresa's lucky to have you over there.
I appreciate it, Todd. Thank you for having me. And again, it's a good partnership. You and I have known each other for, I guess, a little over almost 2 years now. I've seen each other at different broadcasts and different games, and it's fun to get a chance to work with you for once. Callaway looking towards the end zone, has some time, fires it up, incomplete. Ball is dropped. I believe that was number 16 on the play.
Yeah, usually I'm hassling you from the other side.
And I'm sure you'll continue to do so at some of these games. But
whatever we can, we just have so much fun when we're out there doing, especially at basketball. We got a couple of play-by-play guys there, and we have to give a little shout out to them in some sort of disrespectful way, right?
Well, and and this is what we do is we're having a lot of fun doing it, and again, just to be able to give exposure to high school students. I know I always think back to when I was in school 20 years ago and how much fun it would have been to have been able to play on. Well, we didn't have the internet back then, obviously, but to have a family member, 1,000, 2,000 miles away, be able to tune in and watch you play. For us to be able to do what we do, it certainly makes it gratifying, and to hear from some of these folks, and whether it's Twitter tonight or the emails we get, or in the case of for us who cover some of the schools over and over again, that parents get a chance to come up to us, and let us know that they appreciate being able to watch it. And you can't beat this, right? This is a lot of fun. We enjoy what we're doing, and looking forward to another season of it.
Absolutely. We get to know the boys too. And girls. Absolutely. I almost forgot that one, right? We're actually covering about 28 girls' games this year.
Oh, wow.
All the way from swimming to volleyball.
Girls volleyball coming up pretty soon here as well. That season's right around the corner.
Girls soccer, girls swim, and girls volleyball.
And did I hear you tell me earlier that you were going to do, or were you talking to somebody about doing swimming this year?
Yeah, we're doing swim. The Snohomish School District has that brand new swim facility over there, that aqua center, and we're going to be set up there to do some of the dive competitions.
Okay. Are you going to do any lane swimming as well, or any of the?
Absolutely.
Okay. Are we going to see any of the fancy NBC cameras underneath the water, or something like that? Incomplete pass there. That was on 4th and 20, so that is a turnover on downs with 3:54 to go.
I do have a GoPro. We could go ahead and just drop that in the water, see what happens.
Boy, GoPro changes everything too, doesn't it? I mean, the way we're going to watch sports in the next few years is going to be. I mean, we think we're already getting spoiled with some of these things that we see nowadays. It's only going to get better.
Absolutely. We did pick up our secret ref cam this year, but I'm not going to tell you about it because then you might steal that idea.
A ref cam, okay.
We have a ref cam.
Have you talked to a ref about wearing this ref cam yet? Or?
We have not, but
therein lies the challenge, right?
That is.
Are you going to mic the ref up as well? Or are we going to get
absolutely
okay? The innovations that are the Snohomish Times Sports Network. Stay tuned.
That's right. It won't be wireless. It won't be live, but that'll be the next challenge.
Yeah, that'd be something if a referee couldn't go across the field to make a call because they're plugged in to the wall somewhere.
Yeah.
Extension cord doesn't go that far?
Okay. Wireless would be good. Yeah. We just can't get a camera small enough with wireless to be able to get it go across the field from here.
2nd and 8 coming up. Hernandez throwing down the right-hand side. Is it picked off or is it caught? They're going to say that is an interception. That is number 3 on the play. That would be Devin Chavez from Puyallup, Washington, from Rogers High School. 6 foot, 180-pound cornerback.
Rogers, they usually put a pretty good product on the field, don't they?
They're hit or miss sometimes. Yeah. Chad Eaton, who played for the Seahawks for a while. He's kind of a loose cannon, if you will, played also for Washington State University. He was a Rogers alum. He was an interesting guy. He still is probably. I don't know. I don't know Mr. Eaton. But I'll tell you a story here in just a moment. Nice play right up the middle. Still running strong is number 28. That is Nico Lira, the running back. Gets his way forward to about the 20-yard line, a gain of 23. So Chad Eaton, when he was at Rogers, their big rival was Puyallup. And I know he played right around the time the Heward brothers were playing, Brock Heward and Damon Heward. And I've heard stories that he used to call up the Heward family the night before games and tell them what he was going to do to the quarterbacks the next day. And I think it was all in fun, and I think they took it that way. But you don't hear stories like that very often. But watching Chad over the years when he was playing with the Seahawks, and he was mic'd a few times. He he was a guy I wouldn't want to mess with, but
You know, I would love to get a microphone down there underneath the pile. I just don't know how doable that is.
school districts might beg to differ with you on that one. They may not want some of that broadcasted, but another handoff up the middle as they're just running down some of this clock right now. It's another carry for Lyra. 2:42 to go here. I mentioned this a few minutes ago. I need to mention it again. I still don't see people leaving at all. 2:30 to go in this game. 21-point game. For all intents and purposes, it's over, but these fans are still sticking around. Another handoff there, this time a loss of yards coming from Lyra.
Another tweet here from Brandon Brown saying they love the broadcast and keep on going. Brandon Nation.
Brandon, we like that. Oh, Brandon, we appreciate you. And then Brian Mann just said goodbye to us, who has became our new buddy here over the last few minutes. Coach for the Bulldogs. But, yeah, hey, Brandon, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. And certainly enjoyed watching Bernard play and hoping to watch him put up a few more big numbers here as the season progresses. Nice pass there for Darius Patty. Gets down to the 5-yard line. Another first down with 1:47 to go. And we'll see what the Red Raiders elect to do here now with under 2 minutes and another first down. I'll take that back. They're going to call a false start against the Red Raiders, so that will push them back. We'll negate the first down and not give them 3rd and long.
Well, they want to make it a little bit more challenging.
I was still kind of hoping for a field goal because that matches last year's 32-8 score.
I would say that it's still a pretty good bet.
Hey, do you bring the field goal unit on when you're up by 21, though? I don't know. Might be good practice for your field goal kicker. Could look at it that way. 3rd and 16 at the 27. Oh, fumbled snap. Callaway breaks away from the first group of tacklers that were trying to get him and finally gets back to the line of scrimmage. Might have even gained a yard. Goes down at the 26, and we might have a chance to see a field goal team
What
here.
would that be, about a 36-yard?
That would be about a 43-yarder from here.
43. What is the distance between the end line and the field goal? 15 yards?
The end line and the field goal. Oh, there's 10 yards end zone. 10-yard end zone.
Yeah. So if it's 26, that's 36, right?
Oh, then you got 7. You get 7 back to the snap.
There we go, back to the public school math.
It's the yardage plus 17. The yard line, I should say, plus 17. If Spencer Pettit was your kicker, would you go for it here?
Without a doubt.
Where's brother Austin?
Yeah. There wouldn't even
inside joke. There's no Austin Pettit.
It wouldn't even be a guess here. Well, depending on the wind, I guess. But even then, he nailed it over there at Everett Memorial and into the wind.
Callaway dropping back, scrambling away, and is finally brought down at the 41-yard line. Fumbled the ball. It really doesn't matter either way. It was 4th down, so it is going to be a turnover. 26 seconds to go here. Let's see what the Bulldogs want to do. They want to run one more play, or are they just going to take a knee?
You see, that's what I'm talking about right there. There's a small victories right there. Those linemen and those linebackers are feeling very, very triumphant now, being able to push him back there and take that ball away.
Well, we got one. Well, I was going to say one more play, but then again, who knows? If they throw the pass here and it's incomplete, we might have extra plays. Let's see what they do.
I would say they have to go deep, right?
Yeah, they got 3 receivers lined up out to the right. Finally, one goes in motion. Hernandez thrown over to the sideline. They're playing like they're trying to score. They were going to go. I think the ball was thrown a little short, but the intention was to throw a quick one out to the sideline, get out of bounds, and then run another play. So they're still trying to put some points on the board here.
Hernandez has got to put a little bit more poop on that ball. Sorry. A little bit more spin.
A little more oomph.
A little more oomph.
I don't know if I want to catch that other ball. Three receiver set again out to the right-hand side. 22 seconds left on the clock. Hernandez throws a little screen pass into the backfield. Nice little hit there. That was number 30 that caught the pass.
I think they're going to let this clock run out.
That might be the end of it. It's Antos Fields getting his first action. Fields listed at 5'6", 150 pounds. Clock showing 5 seconds to go. Let's see if they get another snap off. 2, 1. They do get it off. Let's see what they do here. Hernandez looking to throw deep. Scrambles away. Finally throws it over to Fields. Can't break free of the tackler. Keelan Tidwell is going to make the final tackle of the game. And your final score tonight from Renton Memorial Stadium, the Everett Red Raiders 29, the Eastside Bulldogs 8. First game of the year for both teams. The Red Raiders going to 1-0. Bulldogs starting off the season 0-1.
Well, one last time, I'd like to thank you for coming out. Thanks for giving me your expertise, because nobody wants to listen to me.
That's not true at all.
So, yeah, we'll go ahead and close this out, and thank you for your help, and I look forward to listening to you on SLSN this fall.
You as well. Yeah, it should be a fun partnership, and again, we'll mention it one more time before we go off the air. Shoreline Community College sponsoring both of us all season long. We
stepping up.
Love the fact that they've done that and that they care that much about what we're doing and for the community and for these student athletes, and certainly we want to give them their due. So, hey, again, my name's Steve Willits. You're Todd Elphick.
That is, the cameraman just ran past me.
Josh Elphick just took off here, so we certainly want to...
He ran down there. He had to, use the facilities.
Okay. I thought maybe he was going to get a hot dog before they closed, but I think the concession's been gone for a while there. But, again, hey, it was a fun night, Todd. Thank you for allowing me to do this with you guys. And once again, our final score from Renton, the Everett Red Raiders 29, the Eastside Bulldogs 8. You have been watching the Snohomish Times Sports Network. Good night.